everyone, and welcome to episode 63 of Beyond Retro. I'm Joe Amato. I'm here with Tyler Baker, Nathan Kennedy, and some old-style headphones, because I thought I was doing something good. I was like, hey, I got some new white ones. I had the black ones that went out on me, the red ones that went out on me. I put on these white ones before the show, and Nathan said, Joe, all I'm hearing is some kind of buzzing. So I grabbed
we could hear you, but it sounded like you were, to me, in the headphones, it sounded like you were just in a way, and then
like a drive-through window box or something like that.
Yeah, and I just heard like a slight buzzing, and anytime you messed with it, it's like but you put those on, it sounds.
It was some stupid pair that had like a mic or something kind of.
I think you can mute that. We'll have to play around with that later. I think if you hit a button, it might be okay.
Well, the reason I don't think I can mute those is they were Dollar Tree ones, so it's some kind of mic. I don't know. So
really?
Yeah, they were the Dollar Tree, but these I'm going to show you. These ones are old headsets that I used to use a long time ago, and as you see, there's no padding here because all the padding ripped off. So
are those the ones you used on your old Skype photo years ago?
What's that?
Are those the same headphones you would use in your old Skype picture?
Yes, these are the ones. And what sucks is, since there's no material here,
I can't believe you
these
still have those.
Slide on my mask all the time. That's why I have to keep readjust them as they keep sliding. But well, hey, let me say hello real quick to Who Dat Whale and Fedmon and Janish is here. And I think I got everybody. So thank you for joining us. Also, I want to show one quick thing. Let me see if I can grab this. I was probably blocking it.
I saw that. I'm like, what is Joe doing with Ninja Turtles arcade game back there?
Yeah, I didn't know if you guys played this much, which it is a really cool game. And do you remember, because it mentions here that
the pizza coupon?
Yeah, the pizza coupon.
You're going to try to go and redeem that, aren't you?
Well, I'm going to say something. First, did you guys ever buy this game? And if so, did you use your coupon?
Actually, I do have a story behind that.
Go ahead.
I got that game for getting good grades on my report card. My parents surprised me with it. Because I got all, let's see, that game came out, what, in 91, 92?
Yeah, I think
somewhere.
Probably. I think we were in first grade when that game.
Yeah, I was either in first or second grade, but I got all A's on my report card. And the next day, I came home and they were like, "Hey, we got you something for doing a good job." And I like freaked out. But no, I did not use the coupon because I was one of those kids. I was like, I don't want to like mess up the booklet. So.
And I'm the same way. I never want to mess up the booklet, and if they gave any inserts, I never wanted to use them because I was like, man, it's gonna take away from this coolness. But Tyler, did you ever buy this game or?
No, I only own like two Nintendo games. I just rented it a lot, but I was aware of the pizza coupon thing, so I was.
It's on the back of the booklet, right?
Yes, and that's what I was going to show everybody. See, that's the thing that kind of made it suck even more. Sometimes, if you were brave enough. Like, you had your booklet. If you were brave enough and they gave a separate coupon, you might use it, but this is on the booklet.
Yeah,
it's on the booklet. I don't want to wreck the booklet. But you know what's funny is I think I seen a video of somebody on YouTube after all these years. He said, I'm going to see if they still redeem this. And I think he went to Pizza Hut with that coupon, and they redeemed it. But I was like, but now they got your whole damn manual, or at least the back cover. It kind of would suck, but
now you're tempted. You're tempted now.
I'm surprised Joe is not like, I'm going to take that son of a gun and go down to my local pizza and get me that free personal pan pizza.
Now, how cool would that be doing something live for Beyond Retro, and I try my luck going.
Well, hey, you eat that gum live on YouTube. You got to go down to your local pizza with the mask intact and see.
Could you see him walking in with his tablet? Yeah, everything's just dangling around. He's like, hey guys, and you can't see shit, and everything. It's like the parade.
You see like the
all
floor
over
of the tile in like 1 foot of his, and all you just hear is like, "Sir, could you take the mask off? We're not a little uncomfortable." But you don't understand. I'm Joe Amato.
Are you trying to rob us, sir? And then they call the cops.
Right, like here, I come in and under my jacket, it's like, here, guys, want to show you something, and they think I'm reaching for a gun, and all I'm doing is reaching for the game. Like, guys, I'm gonna call the cops. But what's funny is that video that we did also, where I tried to go out live for that parade last year. That was on December 22nd. So I think they do it every December 22nd. I was like, wait, is that a Saturday? I was like, what the hell date was that? I was trying to figure in my mind.
It was a Friday, I think we recorded that on.
But the 22nd is on a Saturday because I think that's when my vacation.
So this year's Saturday? Yeah, because I was just picturing, I was like, I wonder if it'll happen again. And I was like, maybe I'll try. Well, the reason I wouldn't try it again, I got the same damn tablet as I had last year, so it would be just as blurry, just as
It's like we can't subject everyone to that clusterfuck again.
Yeah, it's like watching the Blair Witch Project.
Exactly. And then I thought Tyler would get a kick out of this. It's almost done for a customer because I had to do new stuff for the body, the arms, the legs, made the head removable. He will have his gun that can move, and he's going to have a removable, like blade that pops out because he wouldn't fit in the package.
I saw Predator sitting back there, but I couldn't quite make.
Yeah, doing a vintage Predator. I'm doing a vintage style of him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I sculpted everything onto him, but he's got to be painted up. But man, what I love about doing the magnetic, head feature is look how easily the head just pops back on, and you don't have to worry about the thing breaking off because it'll just, magnetically move off. The same thing with this. His side gauntlet with the retractable blades, that's going to be magnetic as well. As you've seen, it can pop on and off, but that's to make sure he can fit in the package because he can't.
Whose arms are you using? Human arms or like Skeletor's arms?
Well, I used believe it or not, these are Zodak's arms, so that's why the creature hands. But I had to get rid of
but I couldn't quite tell if you were using creature hands or not.
Yeah, so they are. It's his creature hand, and then I had to get rid of the fins for doing the sculpting. But also, his skull that I'm going to have him have as a trophy is going to be a Skeletor skull, so it's going to be painted up with Skeletor's design, but it's going to be just the bald head. You won't see a hood, and I'll have the spine hanging from it. So just thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Oh,
that's very good.
That's badass.
That's awesome.
Link down below. Hit Joe Motto up for some customs.
Yeah, there you go. And hey, I think that you doing the T-shirt thing has helped because I've seen like a little surge in T-shirt sales popping up recently. So thanks for that, Nathan, because again, I never babble about, buy my T-shirts, but I appreciate you doing that.
Joe, what the hell's the point in having a store if you don't tell people about it?
I know people said I should.
Yeah, you tell people about your customs on Facebook all the time. Why can't you tell them about, I do this and I do that? And
and that's a thing that I have gotten from a few people that have messaged me. They're like, you make customs. Why don't you talk about it on the podcast? And I always said, I don't know. I said, I promote on Facebook and everywhere else so much. I said, I'd feel cheap doing it. They're like, who cares? They said, it's a podcast. Talk about it. So maybe once in a while I will mention my customs.
Well, why don't we just do a little thing every week or every once a month or something where you show progress on things that you're working on or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you could be like our Don West of Beyond Retro. You can let everyone know what they can get if they act now. They can get a customized, this. They get a customized that, but there's only one available, and you get hype it up. You give them like a certificate of authenticity that you print it off your computer or something like that too. It'd be awesome.
That would be kind of cool.
It's just like a scanned copy of that personal pan pizza coupon.
Yeah. That's what Joe could do. I'll give you a coupon for a free personal pan pizza local. I don't know if it'll work or not, but you will get it and you can try it. That would be awesome.
That would be. Maybe it's something I'll shoot around. But because Who Dat Whale said nice looking custom. Thank you, Who Dat Whale. I might even be showing a Adam West Batman in classic style coming up sometime soon for another customer. So
let's do that. Let's pick one of the weekend days once a month or every couple weeks, and you just kind of it doesn't have to be long videos, but we can just sort of sit there and just talk about what you're working on and your progress.
Just quick. I do appreciate it. Like I said, I'll show it quick, but I won't make a giant segment of it. I will just say, hey, this is something we're working on for a customer, blah, blah, blah. I'll do it quick.
You know what? No, we're doing the videos, Joe. I'm putting my foot down.
No, I would suck at videos, but hey, I just figured I'd show that, and then I'd show that Turtles game, because I know we have a lot of Turtles fans that love Ninja Turtle video games around here, and
it is a good game.
Hell, what?
Hell, what?
I almost feel like I don't know if our audience even likes Turtles that much. Like when we did those two commentaries for Turtles, nobody watched it. I was just it kind of makes you wonder, does anybody who listens to our podcast like Turtles? Because I want to do more Turtle stuff. I want to do a commentary for the live action film, even Secret of the Ooze. Nathan's doing, God, you're
going to bring that up so he can shit on me for the rest of the show. All right, Joe, bring it. Come on, let's hear it. Tell me how bad I am at Turtles.
No, he's pretty good, guys. You could watch it. He did
You know what? I have voice messages on here that say otherwise. All right.
Sometimes plans to hear.
I'm about to expose this fraud. You want to hear his real voice? It's on here.
Exactly.
Sounds like Dr. Claw.
Yeah, exactly, like Dr. Claw's voice. And I got my cat. What was this cat's name? I can't even remember. It's been so long.
I don't recall his cat even having a name. It was just
always
giggling. Yeah, just but I'm sure for the show, like behind the scenes, like a lot of characters are always given a name. They're just not name checked in the show. So
Yeah, that's weird. I never even thought about it until just now. It's things I guess you never really think about. But you're right. I know that they sometimes like with Sticky Fingers and all his space pirates.
Mhm.
I never heard them name checked in the show, but then I think James Eatock showed
they do have names. Yeah.
yeah, every one of them. Like Leo is, I think, that lion-looking character with the hook hand or something. I think his name's Leo. I might be wrong because I don't know if it's like Leo the lion, but it's just Leo. I'm trying to think of all their names, but yeah, they did have names. But yeah, like Who Dat Whale, I think he mentioned to me in a message where he said, "Have you guys ever talked about like action figures from maybe the 80s or 90s?" And I was like, I could have swore we did, but he said, "No, you guys were talking about one time a lot of random merchandise and other things from the 80s, from games to laser tags to toys." But I was like, I really thought we did that, but I guess
I could have swore
you guys did like an action figure revival episode that I wasn't.
Where we talked about what we would like to bring back. I think.
Okay. See, that's the thing, because I mean, guys, I guess that's what when Tyler was saying. We did some Ninja Turtle episodes, and didn't seem like there was a lot of feedback on
Well, the
that.
movie one, it did okay in views. Of course, what video did you say that we had a lot of views? Because I'm like, I couldn't find any
Rambo. I couldn't believe it.
The Rambo one?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I looked at it when we first, because first we recorded through Doug, then we started doing the channel by ourselves. But even the ones we did went through Doug weren't a ton. But for some reason, the Rambo one had like 860 views. It's like, what made Rambo so special? Like, what made Sleepaway Camp last week special? It's like, well, that was kind of high too. It's like, I don't know. Like, you guys
Joe
can always tell
promoted
us.
it for once.
Yeah, maybe that's what it doesn't help when Joe is just like doesn't. I never see Joe promote beyond retro or maybe a picture every so often, but. Or if
So,
fans of Power, he's like, I ain't
especially
promoting
this
that.
week, because we're talking about your favorite action movie guy. Period. Right? Steven Seagal is like the top of your list.
I mean, I do love Seagal. It was always the debates in school, and it's not that I hated Van Damme, because damn it, I love Van Damme too. But in school, boy, did those debates get hot. I was never the one. I don't know how you were, Nathan or Tyler, if you like poking the bear just to maybe see if you get people to argue. I used to like bringing it up just because I knew there was a certain groups that would really get pissy, and I'd be like, "Hey, did you see the new Seagal movie or the Van Damme one?" And then I would say, "Yeah, well, what do you think's better? Because I think Seagal's pretty damn good." And then I would watch them go nuts, and I would just sit back. I never engaged, but I love watching them go nuts. I don't know if you see, you guys I know were a little bit younger, so I don't know if you've seen the debates of the Seagal Van Damme in school. Did that happen?
That never happened on my end of things.
No, if anything, it was just there was like a common thing, like, oh, I like that Van Damme movie, I like that Arnold movie, I like that Seagal film. That was really, no one was really debating about who was better or anything like that.
I think on my end it was either people debating about sports teams or who was the better Power Ranger, red or green. That was about the extent of it.
Yeah,
when I was a kid.
I guess I never encountered that. I never encountered that debate.
I would much rather argue about action heroes than who was the better Power Ranger, though. Honestly, even looking back at it, I mean,
clearly it was Tommy hands down because Jason sucked, but whatever.
See, I don't know. I don't even know it. I don't even know.
Joe's like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
You don't. I know, like people around our age still and younger celebrate Power Rangers, but
that show does not hold up well.
No, it doesn't. And man, the fan base for that show is just it. It's like Star Trek and Star Wars. Like it never stops, and I don't know how or why, but
I'm probably one of the people that's on the outside. Meaning, I've never been a fan of that Star Trek TV series. I used to hate it. I hated it, and of course, everybody in the family loved it. I hated it. The movies. I didn't mind the movies. I guess they were like okay, but when it came to that show, I was like, I can't stand the show. But then I enjoyed Star Wars movies, and it was just weird. But the Star Trek series, hated. Movies, okay. And then, of course, I like Star Wars movies. But I never encountered too many of the debates with the Star Wars, Star Trek, the Trekkies versus... Do the Star Wars fans have a name or no?
I didn't know too many people who actually were Star Trek fans, like in general. Like, if they were, you would never know it. And not until I got older. Most people, it was always like, you like Star Wars, you would talk about it. Wasn't a whole lot of, if anything, I would debate with my brother on some things occasionally, but for the most part, there was always like that common, like, I like Van Damme, I like Arnold, I like, I think probably once we got into middle school, there was more debates on like basketball teams and stuff like that, movies and entertainment.
That really didn't come along until you and I started becoming friends, really.
But you and I really didn't have too many. If we had it, wouldn't really debate. It's just Nathan just like to say, "Oh, your guy sucks." Just just to be malicious. It
Yeah,
wasn't
so
really
there we go,
debate.
poking the bear.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the whole thing with Van Damme and Seagal, I didn't really have a favorite over the other, meaning they were
I
just.
did.
Well, the reason I liked them just so much themselves as their own is they were just quite different. I mean, you had Van Damme, who was so damn muscular and had all that flexibility and do those cool. You always want to see some cool ass kicks from Van Damme, but that's what you're really expecting. Just him to beat ass, a lot of ass. But then you came to Seagal, it's like, what the fuck is this guy gonna do this time? You know, I mean, whether he's breaking somebody's arm and popping it into a different socket, taking a sword, as we've seen in this one, chopping a hand off. What kind of violent, crazy shit is he gonna do? So I loved them both equally on their own merits of who they were. I always got so excited. Anytime there was a new Seagal or Van Damme movie, I'd lose it. So yeah, I know there was
not anymore.
No, not anymore. It's so sad. That's what I hated it. It's like Van Damme, you know, he started having like the crap right to VHS movies, and then Seagal did. And Seagal's got way too many. It's like these are just horrible. And then I don't know what's happened with his hair. It's like, is that or what is
who knows? And he got fatter, and it just seems like he doesn't care anymore.
It's like
at least Van Damme with his resurgence, like he's still in good shape. You know, like he's. But
doing Tostitos commercials. Like, what the fuck is this?
I would rather see Van Damme do that than do more straight to video garbage, though, because it's just trash. And it's like I've tried to watch a few of them. I'm like, this is why they go straight to video. There's nothing redeeming about these films.
Right.
I've never even tried to watch a straight to video Seagal film, not once, because I even knew as a kid the straight to video stuff. It goes to straight to video for a reason.
Tyler,
you know?
I went into one of the places maybe 4 years ago. And I even stopped looking at them too. But I seen like within a month period, it was like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 4 new Seagal movies right to video, like out of nowhere. It's like he's just whatever he can, he makes. And I miss the days. I miss the days of the really fun action and the good ones at the theater of Van Damme and Seagal. They were just great times. Like this one, Marked for Death. Man, it's there's some people that are really big car chase fans. They love those scenes in movies. Me, I've always thought, okay,
yeah, I'm the same way. Like they don't do anything for me. I don't.
But this one's got a cool little car chase,
and that's why I brought it up, because I've never been fans of them. But this one, it had a damn good one that really kept your attention. From the second one, they're popping and jumping off from like the parks or wherever, going down the street, and one with the plexiglass, one with the other glass, going through just all this shit. It's like that one kept my attention. I was like, yeah. This really got me going, and of course, which led to that great damn fighting scene when they crashed through into the store and everything.
That's arguably the best fight in the movie is the jewelry scene fight.
Yeah, because again, that's where you see it's some of the arms. But the one guy cracked you up when he took the damn umbrella. I was like, did you just take an umbrella like you're gonna attack Seagal with an umbrella? Do you remember that part?
Well, there's not a whole lot of jewelry so you could probably use as a weapon. So I imagine just grab anything.
Yeah, because I think he just randomly grabbed an umbrella that was by a statue or something. His other buddy at least had a knife, but yeah, that led to some cool stuff. Well, I'll let you guys go with some stuff because it's just a great movie.
At the beginning of Capes and Commentaries, I showed this off because I worked overtime yesterday, and it's been a long week at work, and so I'm like, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna watch this, I'm gonna enjoy it, but I'm getting drunk, and I notes at the ass, like page and a half. I'm just sitting there, and towards the end, like some of this stuff, I'm like, I can't make out what I wrote.
Because you were drunk? Is that?
I guess I was kind of reaching that point, but yeah, man, I like right off the bat, Seagal is chasing someone. Lo and behold, it's Danny Trejo. I'm like, holy shit, it's Danny Trejo. Yeah. Like the cool thing about him is he showed up in so many things, just like little tiny bit parts.
Right.
It's cool. It's kind of like Waldo. You just like spot him in all these films. So that was cool. And then just the fact that the deal, because his character, he's kind of like trying to bust these guys, and his partner's there with him, and it comes to find out, and he's so like confident. He's like, no one saw us take him down, and of course they did, because the guys bring him down. It's like, yeah, that was him. So fight ensues, shootouts going on, and then his partner Chico, I guess that's what they call him by. He gets shot by like some hooker in one of the rooms. I guess she was hopped up on coke, because you could see a little bit of the residue right there. But I was just like, damn, man, like that really sucks. It's like you don't get shot by it's just a hooker that was probably just really high.
I always assumed she was with the guys. Like,
I mean, she probably was, but I don't know. It's a lame way to go, or a cool way because she was topless.
I was gonna say too, she's a beautiful woman. Seagal just like I'm surprised Seagal didn't walk into the room and just start feeding more bullets into her body, and then breaks her arm off, and just.
I'm
really
kind of
just goes,
surprised too that he didn't have a love scene in this movie. I could
Always
have
felt
sworn.
Seagal does not come off as someone that really warrants having a romantic interest. He really doesn't.
He's not very charismatic.
No, not with
Like-
women. Like, he's charismatic when he's
He's got a lot of
Carrying
dry. He's got a lot of dry like one-liners that are funny, but yeah, when it comes to women,
it feels very forced when it's with women. Like,
Yeah.
and it's in this movie, like, it's not much of a love. It's kind of like there's that expert on voodoo rituals and things like that. It's thrown into the mix just to have a female in the movie for Seagal to speak to on occasion. And even though she's implying, all the good men are either gay or married or whatever, so it just doesn't work. And I just think that in general, it's like an Under Siege. When the film wraps up and Erica, what's her name? I can never pronounce her last name.
yeah.
The
She was on Baywatch. Yeah.
Yeah, when there's like a forced kiss with the two of them at the end, you just kind of feel like it just doesn't work with Seagal.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris is the same way. Like, I don't see Chuck Norris as a ladies' man.
I never seen any of the like the male action superstars. Anyone was like, I never seen them like kissing and making that. It's just like, I don't want to see this. Sure, I want to see the woman if they show her naked. That's great. But as for the guys, like, I don't want to see this. Just go break somebody's arm, blow somebody's head off.
I'm not saying you want to sit there and watch all the romantic stuff, but like Arnold, Stallone, and Van Damme all come off as like viable like action heroes that they look like the ladies' man, like the action hero that would get the girl.
Yeah.
But Seagal and Chuck Norris, like even though I love Chuck Norris to death, but I just doesn't have that extra element of doing a romantic scene with a woman.
Yeah,
it doesn't work.
It would be weird.
Yeah, sure. It's like when Seagal went into that one club and there was that woman doing that really sexy dance, trying to stand there. It's just like he just looked so out of place and uncomfortable. He looked like, I don't want to be here. You know what I mean? It's like, he's trying to be the cool guy, and like you said, a ladies' man. It's like he just looked awkward and out of place in that, in that whole spot.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Tyler.
It just feels forced, and it almost feels like you have to have something like that to a certain degree. Or I mean, you got plenty of naked women to mark for death. You got the girl that kills. I used to make references to that scene with that voodoo Hispanic voodoo girl like gets bathed naked in like a sponge bath and then guts a chicken. I used to make reference to that all the time as a kid because I just
I think I put it. Yeah, I got all kinds of shit in my notes. It's like weird voodoo ritual, poor chicken is what I wrote down.
I felt bad for the chicken. This girl's like drinking Bacardi and just spits it all over the place, spits it on the chicken.
Yeah.
It's just like, I think this girl was just improvising her voodoo ritual. Like,
it's
like, it tastes bad. I was like, bad Bacardi. Just spits it out all over the place.
If people are kind of wondering like the basis of the story, at the beginning, it's a drug deal going wrong, and he kind of like, I'm done with it. So he goes back to his hometown. He visits his sister, greeted by his niece, played by Danielle Harris.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, nowadays, yes.
Yes.
Ooh,
I'm sure you did. I'm sure back then, high school Joe was like, I'd like to get me some of that. And then pull his mask over his face so he wouldn't feel like a pervert.
No.
Anyway, so basically he's back in his hometown, and I'm assuming he goes into his old room because all of his shit's hanging there on the wall. But he played football, and it like transitions to him going to his high school, and there's the coach played by Keith David.
Yeah.
And then that's sort of when you get hints of where the story's going to go. You see like these two Jamaican guys that are there with other kids being like, hey, you need to try this, whatever. And Keith David points it out. And Seagal's just like, nah, don't worry about that. Come with me. And then it sort of just kind of snowballs from there. You find out that these guys are becoming big players. They're pushing out more shit. And like they're taking over more territories, and that's when Seagal's like, all right, I got to put a stop to this, especially once they find out where he's at and they do a drive-by, and Danielle Harris gets shot, and then she's in the hospital. And he's like, all right, it's on. I feel like there was...
Who's being taken care of by Dr. Silverman from Terminator 1 and 2.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I also have written down here, like there would be certain lines that would pop up. I'm like, I got to write that down. But when he's talking to his coach, he makes it. Keith David makes it a point to say, one of my best players OD'd on cocaine. Like it's just sort of out of the blue. Like he was expendable or something, but he was really upset by it because the team didn't do as well or something because he OD'd on cocaine. I don't know. So many notes. It sounds
like you're saying like they're forcing a lot of unnecessary remarks of drama to kind of amp up the situation.
I mean, it was funny to me because I was just like that.
And I love how Seagal was like completely like unemotional about all of it. It's like, come on, man, let's take out the posse. You know, just completely
but I like that about him too.
And I'm enjoying these notes because I'm hoping the more you start reading, the more drunk they appear to be, and you're like,
I mean, I can go through and we can
his words as he's reading.
Yeah, I just flash back into it. But one of the other things in the film that I really liked is his shitty fucking jacket that's got the dragons right here on it.
Yeah,
that, like really just bad looking tiger on the back. I looked at Emily. I'm like, you gotta find a way to get me that jacket. I meant to wear that shitty fuzzy short jacket that I had on my Facebook. I meant to wear that for this.
You should have. Would have been cool. But now let's get back to the drunken notes of Nathan. I'm enjoying it. You got to show him, like you said, Tyler. You'll see that he's writing pretty well, and then it starts getting all scribbled at the bottom, and it's all illegible or whatever.
All right, well, when they go to the dance club, it's like that first shot, there's a guy in the corner who's like doing like this weird, like it looks like something I would do, but he's just like, yeah. I'm just like, good dance moves. And then
so you're trying too hard, Trent. Turn it down a little bit for the camera.
Yeah. Jimmy Fingers has shitty hair.
God, you really did observe a lot of interesting things. Please progress. Like, go on.
Oh, there's also the other part when, like, anytime Seagal is running in this movie, like,
I never like
it looks like shit. Like the dude,
he cannot run.
Like, normally when you run, you're supposed to kind of like light fist and kind of like this, but when he's running, like it's like his arms are just all over the place. I'm like, what? for a guy in these films that's supposed to be like so badass and he's like breaking arms and doing everything, like to see him run like that, I'm like, what?
It's been made fun of a lot.
I think is it Out for Justice or Buff for Law where there's a shot where he's wearing a tank top and he's doing the flappy arm thing when he's so skinny. I figured that's why he wears these really puffy jackets to kind of hide his upper body because he's very, very skinny and very frail looking, and when it doesn't look very masculine because he had no muscle definition. Like all of his films, he's wearing a lot of clothing to cover it up because with the clothing on, he looks fine, like wearing a black jacket. Or like the cook outfit, or even the blue jacket for the finale with Screwface. Like, I mean, it looks fine, but you just
I couldn't remember. I was almost thinking it was above the law. I really thought it was above the law when he wore that goofy little tank top and did that run when, like you said, when he was running the street.
God, Nathan needs to see. You just find a clip on YouTube of just Seagal running. I think it's that clip.
So that was one thing, and then also when the drive-by happens and Danielle Harris is shot. And I want to say it's when they're in the hospital and she turns to Seagal. She's like, oh, my daughter. And then she like starts hitting him. She's like, God damn you. And I started thinking about Pumpkinhead while I was in there. Yeah. And then when he has his confrontation with Jimmy Fingers, I wrote down Jimmy Numbers. See, this is when I think it was kind of starting, honestly. And I put in quotations, I'm going to fuck you up, because that's basically what it said to him. Because Jimmy Fingers was like doing coke, and he just got like a bunch of naked women in there, and he like Seagal just busts in. It's like, I'm going to fuck you up.
And which led to afterwards probably one of his good trademark or quotes, catchphrases in the movie. Remember, because after that he shot him, and then the other guy, remember, jumped out the window.
Jumped out the window, and I actually have that when they get in the car. Seagal's like, one thought he was invincible, the other thought he could fly. They were both wrong. I was like, I gotta write it down. I'm drunk.
Like that. Yeah, exactly. That was a good one-liner. I mean, there was tons of them. There was even kind of when Screwface. Remember when Screwface when they trapped him in, the car with the whole damn thing with the big crane or whatever.
The bulldozer,
just enough space for him to eke out of there. Yeah.
Yeah, with the bulldozer, and he had him crushed, and then Screwface looked at him and says, "I'm going to introduce you to my sister," and he's like, "The goddess of fire," and threw that Molotov cocktail in there to try to set him on fire, but he gets out. So Screwface even had a couple good ones. Hell, I like when Screwface lost his shit. Remember when they were sitting there all playing dominoes?
And he flipped the table. It reminded me of Tyler. I wrote that down. Screwface flipping tables like Tyler.
When have I done that?
Tyler hasn't done that. That's usually my joke.
Well, it's usually that's like the gag in the chat. It's like people are like, "Oh, Tyler's pissed. He's gonna start flipping tables."
No, I figure that's like Joe. Joe flipped the table because he's pissed off about the Patriot. That's
and that's just to let you guys know, that's where it started. When I was like, that's I gotta go. I was like, man, Joe's flipping tables and shit.
Because it was just over the date of a straight to the and Joe was like, oh my god, like I'm gonna name you Italian, gotta get out of here, and I got no heat. It's too tight. I'm pissed now.
Angry.
Looking at a match with Ron Killens.
But just
super sad. What's it called? I don't know what it's called.
Super Bowl Saturday.
I don't know.
But you're right, Screwface. He sat there, flipped the table, and grabbed and broke off a leg, and then hit one of his henchmen with it, and then told that guy about to kill Hatcher. He's like, you're gonna kill Hatcher. If you don't kill Hatcher, he's like, I'm gonna kill Hatcher, and I'm gonna kill you. Screwface. It was a cool ass character, and the whole mystique around him, and then believing that maybe this voodoo and everything was real. Especially when the movie progresses and Seagal has this epic fight with Screwface and decapitates him and goes back to show them the head. But then, bam, there's Screwface again. And they think that he's come back, some voodoo spell, only to find out that he's got a twin brother. It's just this is a movie
that blew my mind because I for certain that we rented this when I was a kid because anytime any of these films came out, my dad would see them, we'd rent them and watch them, and I honestly have not seen Mark for Death since. So when that twist came up, and of course I'm already toasted, so I'm just like, oh wow.
Waking up, Emily. Did you see this, Emily?
No, she didn't. No, she didn't wake up. And yes, by the way, she did fall asleep about halfway through.
What are some more of your drunken notes as the movie has progressed?
Well, when he's trapped and the construction workers, it was funny how that happened. It's like he didn't catch on to like the trash truck right on his ass, and then like he still hadn't figured it out when the other car's in front of him. But anyway, when he gets out, one of my favorite things is when he hits the ground, he rolls and he like pulls a gun out. And I was like, "There's no one around. Like, what are you doing?" But God, yeah, I have a weapon montage because that's when they were gearing up. Him, Keith David, and then like the Jamaican cop. Yeah, and then they're off to Jamaica, and I was like, wow, all right. I have written down Splinter Cell Seagal, so I'm assuming that's when he's got like his night vision goggles on and he's going in and like shooting people. Oh wait, yeah, it's when he's like sniping at the guys that are like on the balconies walking around and everything. Oh yeah, Screwface decapitation, thumbs up.
I love Nathan's face. He's looking at. Oh,
I'm trying to read it.
You're gonna have to show it to the camera. We got to see your gibberish.
It's like Texas tornado,
guys. Hang on, let me see if I can.
Is that a mark at the bottom?
I don't know. But yeah, look at that. You can't even.
Hair thing, worn, wave.
Yeah, it's just it got bad at one point. It was looking all right at the look at the difference. I mean, yeah, it's still kind of like shitty handwriting, but at least it's a little more legible.
Oh my god, I can only picture Tyler. What would have made that better is like in the last couple pages, he's drawn stick figures of like somebody holding a gun and then somebody with X's on their eyes like they're dead. Like this.
And he's just drawing like pictures of like pee-pees and wee-wees, like he's, in middle school or something like that.
Like Jonah Hill and Superbad, just drawing dicks all the time.
Yeah, just starts drawing that. Hey, I'm like, look at this. Isn't this funny?
Yeah. But it was kind of a conscious thing that I kind of wanted to start doing because most of the times when I do watch these movies to prep, it is like Saturday night or Friday night, and it's been a long week, and I'm like, I want to have some drinks, sit down and relax and enjoy. But the problem is towards the end I do get a little like it I wake up the next day. Well, yeah, but I remember things, but when I wake up the next day, I was like some stuff gets lost to me, certain details. So I'm like, I'm just gonna kind of start jotting down some notes while I watch these things, and it'll be entertaining. Well, obviously, you guys are kind of entertained by it, but hopefully the listeners appreciate it is the main thing.
I think it's a nice little segment edition.
Yeah,
Nathan's notes.
Yeah,
drunk
notes.
I
haven't.
like it. Just calling it drunk notes. And it'd be good if we had like a segment where we had like a broken beer bottle come up against the screen, like smash. And
I wish. No, have it like Jaws 3D. Just have like a beer bottle slowly creeping towards the screen here, and then like it's just a really shitty glass shatter. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
I have in quotations, "Get the fuck out of town or die." Seagal probably he said that to somebody, right? Or did someone say? Yeah, okay.
I think he said that to the Jamaican gang when they go and confront the posse.
Oh, it's when he has his decapitated head in his hand, and then I have Screwface is alive. What a twist!
That was though because
it was actually like
it's a good something that could have been easily like this is cheap, but it's done very well, and the character Screwface. Because a lot of movies that just have like a cliche villain or something like that, but the actor who plays Screwface has a very sinister look. His eyes and his accent, of course, just overall like the way he dresses and carries himself, he comes off and he's got a unique name. Screwface is not the most original name, but it's
still cool. It made him look ugly too with the screws. But when he comes back, the other Screwface and just how he appears, impaling that Charles, like the cop that was with them, the Jamaican cop. That's what just made it kind of freaky. You're like, what? So I know what you mean when you first seen it. This twist, you're like, how did that happen? And then, of course, you find out it's a twin brother because remember that one stripper was kind of giving Seagal clues about, he has 2 heads and 4 eyes,
And I like that. Like that was a way of like throwing a nice mystery note to the audience. Like, what does that mean? So I thought that was cool. I like I said, I'm glad that has not been something they've. I remember thinking like Christopher Nolan probably stole this for The Prestige. When they had like 2 Christian Bales in the movie. It's like you probably watched Mark for Death. That's a brilliant idea. Just decides to throw that in the script.
Janusz actually just sent me the video of Steven, so the compilation of him running.
Okay, and, you need to watch that.
Yep. No, there he is above the law. Oh my God. It's just like it's so bad.
It's
why would you film that and just be like, all right, you know what? We got to keep that. Well, why? I bet it's because he doesn't take direction well. I'm sure he's like, no, it looked fine. It looked great.
I would think after all the training and stuff he's done, he would have somehow learned how to run somewhere in his life because that is a bizarre.
Well, plus, even if you can't, you're supposed to choreograph action sequences and perfect how you look in the scene. And for him to sit there and, to think that he can be all super skinny, like Bruce Lee was a small frame guy, but the guy was nothing but pure 150% muscle. Seagal is not that, I just never understood. I guess probably why he wears the puffy jackets all the time to cover up.
Yeah, that started progressing more and more as his gut was getting bigger. Then he would start always wearing something covered, and then he would always remember hold his hands like this. He always hold them like that to cover over the gut. Because he was, at one time, like you said, he was skinny, and he, might not have been the most muscular guy, but he sure was athletic. But that just started going downhill. Maybe as, he got richer and richer, maybe he just didn't care. I don't know. But
he just stopped caring. But you guys would think, as an action hero, whether you're a great one or a straight-to-video guy, there's a certain look. Like, we all know you don't have to be super muscular to, take someone out if you know martial arts or a variation of, jiu-jitsu, kung fu, Muay Thai, whatever. You don't have to have muscles, but when you're on screen, you have to look the part. You have to look like, and it's just like Seagal was just like, nah, Johnny, I'm not doing that. I'm not lifting weights, man.
You know what else I don't get that kind of annoyed me as, like you said, the career started, going down with some of the later movies, and especially direct to VHS, is he would start whispering. I was like, why are you whispering so much? Now he whispers so much. I was like, I can't fucking hear you. Used to
I guess because to him he thought he sounded cooler. If it's just like,
it's like, why did he think that was cool? It's like when you talked and we could hear you and all the other ones, that was great. You talk fine, but then this new way you talk, like I said, and there was one movie, I don't remember the name of it, I've seen it years ago. His voice got so low and it was so bad that he was dubbed. And just to let you know, he was speaking in English in this movie. It wasn't like a movie that was done in another country where, it was supposed to be in another language. No, he was speaking, but his voice was so low that he got dubbed over in his own movie. I was like, what in the hell am I listening
Was it The Patriot?
No, it was.
It's funny. You hear that in his laugh. Just that bit. It's like you mother. Don't test me, motherfucker.
That was.
Like, you motherfucker. You got jokes.
Joe did a poor job of hiding that malice. You son of a bitch.
If you could see my mask change, as they say, with an expression, that would have been the one.
If he had a bullet in his teeth, he'd have bit that bullet in half with that comment. Man, that was.
Oh shit! But no, it was. I can't remember the movie. I just remember part of it. We heard his regular voice, and then you hear this dubbed voice in the same thing. It was. Oh god, I wish I could remember. Yeah.
In case too, people are wondering like why Tyler and I are just so like it's because it's still snowing outside. I think we got like a foot of snow out there right now, and
it's slowing down now. So
are you snowed in?
Yeah. Well,
yeah. I mean, Emily's got a big ass truck that I'm sure we could go out if we had to, but there's no need. We got pizza last night, so just microwave it.
Do you guys have levels of danger for snow in your area? And if you don't, I'll explain what we have here.
No, they just do winter weather advisories, watches, and warnings. There's not like a 1 to 5 scale or anything.
X amount of years ago, it started in where I live, where they started giving levels. It had level 1, 2, and 3. Level 1, it always says, be careful, watch the roads. Level 2, only get out if necessary. But if it's a level 3, it's against the law. You cannot go out unless you are an emergency vehicle for, the hospital or a cop. You are not allowed on the roads, meaning your ass ain't getting to work, and the places are usually closed down. So if it's a level 3...
that makes sense. Here, it's just like...
No, I mean, nothing shuts down, it feels like. Like, grocery stores are still at Walmart.
Yeah.
Even my job, like, the tech campus will be open for business, like, right now and tomorrow, because the students have nowhere to go. They're stuck on campus, so dining halls have to be open.
They don't close it? Oh, wow.
The classes may get closed, but the dining halls have to open because the students have to be able to eat. So they'll send the employees over to the hotel across the street, put them up for the night, and then the police have to escort them back in their cars to all the dining halls.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. I'm like, am I going to be able to make it to work tomorrow? And there's a number. Huh?
Is it going to keep snowing, or is it done?
It's slowing down right now in comparison. Like, it's still coming, but it's looking a lot lighter than it was.
Yeah. It's supposed to be done by tonight, but
okay.
The main concern is I'm like, I hope, because it's a heavy snow, I'm hoping that like Tyler and I don't lose power, especially because you guys got another show to do tonight. But I hope I can make it to work tomorrow.
Could you imagine? Only make for good live, like always. We're sitting there doing a live podcast, and then just shuts down. That's it, right in the middle.
Like, was it like 3 weeks ago? My power went out. We were recording the podcast.
Yeah.
That was weird. And wasn't that almost towards the end when that happened?
No, it was right there at the end.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, shit. So back to Mark for Death. What are some more of your thoughts, Tyler? Because I know me and Nathan were rambling. He was giving his drunk notes, which I'm sure we'll get back to. But some more thoughts from you.
I mean, I watched it last year, I think. I think it was last year or maybe the year before. I went back and revisited it just for fun. And watching it this time, I enjoyed it, but not as much as I did the last time. It has some great moments. I think the movie overall, I just didn't find it as entertaining. And I think some of that is a testament to, I think, Seagal. I just... he is a legendary action hero. You can't take that away from him, and I'm not going to, because he's earned that spot as a top action hero, at least for the late 80s into the 90s. But I just don't find it to be as charismatic in general on screen. Like, I don't at times it kind of feels like he's lacking. Almost like his portrayal of being the tough guy. Like, I love Under Siege. Under Siege is great. Mark for Death is still good. Some of his others as well, but I just can't.
He's speechless.
I just kind of felt, I think I enjoyed watching the Screwface scenes more than a lot of the Seagal stuff, and I mean, I'm not saying it's a terrible movie or anything by any means, because it is a good film. And that it was the one that I used to rent the most as a kid of all Seagal's movies. Like that one and Under Siege 2. Don't know why, but that's.
I kind of know what you mean. His character, it's still good, but like me, I got the most emotion out of him and always just feeling that vengeance was like out for justice.
I knew that was going to come back to it because you're all about the bar scene.
Damn, do I love, but not only just the whole fucking movie. I mean, not only from him, but you got Richie who's out of his mind. Like, do you remember the scene when they were in traffic and that woman's honking the horn and Richie just goes up and they're like, oh my God, he's going to do it, he's going to do it. She's screaming, he takes a gun and boom, blows her fucking head off. I'm like, did that just happen? The guy who, and I hate saying I can't remember who the actor is who played Richie because I know he's been in
William Forsythe.
Thank you. He did a damn good. What's that?
I met him.
Oh, you did? Oh, of course you did. You meet everybody. But he did one hell of a job of playing a guy coked up, drugged out. He did a fucking great.
Probably because he was.
Nobody did. It's just damn, and he knew it was his. This is my last night. He knew he was gonna be dead. He wanted to go out with a bang, and just the whole fucking movie though. You feel the emotion of Seagal and all the characters. Great ass movie. Loved Out for Justice.
Let's talk about that. This whole week has been funny because I usually hit these guys up on Monday. I'm like, hey, what are you guys thinking? And Joe was like, Gremlins, man. Let's do Gremlins. I'm like, all right, I'm all right to do Gremlins. I was like, but I Tyler and I are just kind of like, do we really want to do like Christmas themed stuff like all month like we did last year? And Tyler's like, I'm all right if we do it, but if we don't, I'm good with that too. I was like, all right, well, that's not helpful. I was like, all right, well, let's throw a bone. Joe, you want to do some Seagal? I'm like, here's the movies I own. I was like, I have Marked for Death. No, I put it between. It was Above the Law, Under Siege. And,
I thought you said Hard to Kill, maybe.
Yeah, Hard to Kill. I put it between those three.
Don't you have? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, if Tyler's cool with this, pick one of these three. And then Joe's like, Out for Justice. I'm like, what? and then Tyler is like, I don't own any of Seagal's movies. I was like, son of a bitch. I'm like, should we just do Uncle Buck or something? And then Tyler's like, well, actually, I watched Under Siege and Marked for Death last year. I was like, all right, Marked for Death. I'm like, Joe, how's this sound to you? Joe. And then, I wait for like 8 hours for a reply. And then Joe's like, yeah, that sounds good. I'm like, all right. So there you go. A little behind the scenes.
Oh, you know what's weird? The Gremlins thing, I guess it wasn't even so much just not because Christmas, because you think, oh yeah, it is a Christmas movie in a way, but I forgot how fucking twisted it was. Again, it's movies. Yeah, it's movies like as a kid. I remember how much every kid loved RoboCop. And then you go back and watch again, it's like, God damn what they did to him before he was RoboCop. And then, seeing the guy at the end when he gets splattered to pieces when he's all fucking full of toxic waste. And I was like, that was a violent movie. And then Gremlins, which I just seen last week, it was on TV. I was like, damn, that was kind of fucking twisted. That ain't as all happy and cute as you'd think. That's a crazy ass movie. I guess that's why it was in my head as I just seen it. I was like, it was some twisted shit. I mean, I know the last time you've seen it, but it wasn't as, rainbows and gumdrops as people make it.
Isn't it weird how that happens as a kid? You're just like, yeah, like this is awesome. And you grow up and you're like, holy shit, like this was pretty fucked up. And I'm sitting there like, yeah. Like, what does that say for us?
It's like we get, we're watching a lot of action cartoons as a kid. So when you see stuff go down, it's just like in Gremlins, like when you see the science teacher get killed and things like that. You don't really understand the severity of those situations as a kid because you're not an adult. You don't see it as you see everything is just throwaway, like no big deal. Guys get killed, or guys always come back. The villain always comes back. The hero can get through this. It's just a flesh wound. Like you really under that impression that
I miss that. I miss being a kid sometimes.
I do too. I mean, especially when watching wrestling or looking at certain movies a certain way where you would believe that the shark in Jaws, the Revenge, could actually growl like a lion or a dragon. You're like, yeah, sharks can really do that.
Or hell, even in another movie I've seen recently that, oh man, it messed me up. As a kid, and it still creeps me out. I was at arachnophobia. Oh God, just the size of them spiders. And I remember every time they show one, I'm looking up at the ceiling and I'm touching my head thinking something's going to get me. But when that spider rears up, like in that one scene, and I'm like, does a spider make a sound like that? Just like you said, with Jaws making a growl. Does a spider make this sound? But
I've never watched that movie.
I haven't either.
You're shitty. Okay, now again, this isn't me saying, oh, why don't you guys?
You're shitty.
You know how it is. I say a movie and then you guys watch. You're like, Joe, that was actually fucking terrible. Well, no.
I was too afraid to when I was a kid. I
Well,
remember seeing stuff. I was like, no, no, no. And
Well,
I just never got around to watching it.
if I see big spiders, I mean, I'll kill them, and I just don't like doing it. Little teeny spiders, I'll put on my hand and take them outside so they can just get the hell out of the house. But arachnophobia, that movie fucked. Oh, it messes me up. The size of them spiders. Trust me, you guys see that, and maybe we could just discuss that sometime. Because damn, that is one fucked up movie.
I remember wanting to see it as a kid because John Goodman was in it, and I thought it looked interesting, but it was just something we never rented. I wasn't afraid of spiders or anything. It just never made it a priority to see it.
Yeah, and not that I've seen, many, because I know they have that goofy 8-legged freaks and whatever, but
yeah, I remember getting dragged to go see that too.
That was over
you saw that? Oh, man.
Matt Hilton wanted to see it. He's like, it's going to be a great job. I'm telling you, David Arquette's in it. How good can it be?
Isn't that weird? I just said 8-legged freaks and then popped up at the bottom. Giannis just said 8-legged freaks. Well, that's the thing, though. That was just silly, but this one is this is the best spider movie that I've ever seen. It really, another one. It's not supposed to be silly. You can take the part serious, and of course, there's a guy who has arachnophobia in the movie. But yeah, I used to have issues because spiders, when I was a kid, seemed like they'd always like land on me or by me, and so I had a hell of a time as a kid watching. But I watched it recently, and it still holds up. So I think you both give it a shot. It's a creepy ass movie, but not.
I'm not
silly
opposed
movie.
to it. I just just have to have a copy of it, or I need to find it, stream it on my iPad or something like that.
Nathan, burn a copy right now.
Burn a copy.
Are we mentioning this live on the show?
My pirate days are over, sir.
Oh, okay. Of your own.
I pay for music now. I don't know what the fuck happened to me. I like that. I
Nathan
even
got
just
civilized.
Even just saying that kind of makes me like crawl in my skin. Like what happened? Where did it all go wrong? It's probably taking all
civilized.
these notes. Yeah.
Nathan has morals now. How about that?
I don't know about Nathan having morals though.
Wow.
No.
well, hey, I was gonna.
I want to ask you guys this though about Seagal, because he is definitely very well known for being a real prick behind the scenes in general. Like, it's almost like it's hard to find a positive story about Seagal. I'm like, when we met Danielle Harris, like, I didn't want to talk about Halloween. I wanted to ask her about her thoughts on Seagal. And she looked at me like I was asking her to show her, will you show me your tits? Like, that was the look
it's like
she gave
Girls
me.
Gone Wild thing all over
Yeah,
again.
she looked at me very, like, disgruntled. And she goes, you better off talking to Kane about working with Seagal. Because Kane Hodder was there, too. So, getting that look like that from Danielle Harris doesn't leave you very comfortable. But I just thought, like, she was a kid working on Marked for Death and didn't want to talk about working with Seagal. And she barely had any scenes with him. So I just kind of felt like that's a testament to, like, what did he do behind the camera that would make this little girl at the time be so, like, I don't even want to talk about it. Like,
wow.
How,
I don't know.
bad?
That's the thing, is I've always avoided mostly, as I told you before, behind the scenes stuff or documentaries.
Did I just burst your bubble about,
Well, no, I mean, I've heard people before, like you said, just through talking like that or random saying, yes, Seagal was, real prick in real life. But I was like,
no, I don't believe any of that.
Like, I just didn't want to.
He's a national treasure.
I love my damn Seagal. I love watching his movies. Yeah, his later movies sucked, but damn, I love those originals.
Well, like, I know, like, Stallone and Arnold both took steroids. Arnold's cheated on his wife, but I'm still gonna, like, doesn't affect my passion for Predator and Conan and Rambo. For that stuff. I'm like, I understand, like, you're playing a part. You're not doing competition, stuff like that. So I don't condone the use of steroids or cheating on your wife or anything like that. But the same thing with Seagal. But I do feel like, because a lot of actors have come forward and shared stories about working. Like, I know John Leguizamo shared a story about working on Executive Decision with Seagal. And Seagal came into the room with, I guess, like, his team, because they're part of, like, the special forces team. They're going to infiltrate the hijacked plane. And it's on YouTube if you want to look it up. And John kind of was very dismissive of how Seagal was coming in, telling everybody to, straighten up, get all lined up and taking it seriously. And John makes a remark to him, and Seagal comes over and slaps the hell out of him right there in front of everybody.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And
did you end up asking Kane Hodder at all?
Yeah,
I could have sworn, yeah, you did.
I did. And he said the biggest problem with Seagal is that he was just trying so hard to actually, like, hurt people. Like, when you're doing these fight scenes, because when I was rewatching Marked for Death, I'm thinking of all these poor guys that Seagal is. I mean, I know when you're an actor, a lot of if you're in a fight scene, you're trying to sell, the pain and the punches. You want to make sure you're not completely connecting, but people do get clipped in the face or they do get stabbed by accidents do happen. But Kane was saying Seagal really tries to hurt people. Like, not he's like trying to actually break his stuntman's arm, but he's not going to hold back if he's putting you in a just trying so hard to really hurt his other co-actors in doing the fight scene, like taking it way too seriously and not realize, look, this is a fight scene. We're pretending to do this. And I appreciate the authenticity you want your fight to look like, but I do find that it's really dangerous.
Well, I guess it explains why a lot of the things that I've seen in many of his movies did look like, damn, it looked like he really hit that guy, really pushed or threw him or something.
Because he probably did.
Well, I guess explains it. I always thought, damn, that's pretty good stuntman. Oh, that looked kind of real. I guess it was kind of real. Well, thank God he didn't have the chance to really throw somebody down and shoot like he did with Screwface at the end of the movie. But
that was probably real. He probably did take the actor and throw him down the
that's in my notes. Pushed eyes in, broke back, elevator shaft.
That dummy though.
It was like, great, we got it. Sorry about that. We'll get to the hospital as soon as we can.
Yeah, that's the part
film, though.
Every time you see it, it's so noticeable. After he breaks the back and lifts it, you see it's a dummy, throws it. This dummy's gone down. What does he say? Something like, "I hope there wasn't triplets."
Yeah. He said, "Hope they weren't triplets."
Yeah.
Which I'm like, Seagal, you did it again.
he's got a million of them.
Good movie. No, I mean, but it is still just a great ass movie. I mean,
it is.
Yeah.
And plus having Keith David in the mix, like, why wasn't Keith David in more of these action films? Like, he's in They Live, he's in
got the voice for it too. Like, his voice is just fantastic.
Just making him an action hero. Like, Keith David could carry a lead.
He's a big motherfucker. Let him do it.
Him and Piper had one of the best fighting scenes I've ever seen in a movie. It looks so real. It's like, unlike a lot of the choreographed stuff where there's punches and somebody hits somebody, you know what I mean, where things look so phony. It's like, that wouldn't happen in real life. But when they were beating the piss out of each other in that alley and They Live, that looked like something that people would really do, especially of shit I've seen, I'm sure you've seen. That looked real. I love that fight scene with Piper and Keith David.
And they took a lot of time to choreograph that fight. And that's what I find so fascinating, too, is like, if you have great fight scenes, I mean, that you sell meat, because, I mean, it means you took a lot of time to set up the fight, what kind of punches, what kind of kicks, how you're going to shoot it, how you're going to, storyboard it out.
It seems so dirty, you know what I mean? It looks like a good street fight, you know, not like, something with fancy kicks and punches and all these moves.
Joe would know all about street fights.
Well, I mean,
Mean Street's having to defend himself.
Well, I'm saying, I'm sure you
guys...
I feel
like Joe is like John Travolta and his buddies in Saturday Night Fever, like on the streets of Brooklyn,
Well, I'm just
getting into trouble. Joe's working at the local paint shop, and just I'm taking the day off, man, and that's the way the world Joe paints, which is probably the most exaggerated story we've ever heard here. I'm just picturing I'm picturing like little Joe has an afro. We don't know why, but he has an afro. But he's like, "Watch the head, man." And
yeah, man. No, it was a
he can't walk through the door like O.J. Simpson. Joe dinner coming, and he's got to like turn to
the sides. Was that in part 3 or 2? Which one?
It was in 3.
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember that part. But no, I'm sure everybody's had some kind of street fight. You guys included. I'm sure you.
Oh yes. So on the streets of Radford,
I forgot.
About, do or die, win or cry.
Yeah, no, I never.
We used to have like bare knuckle boxing matches back behind Pulaski County High School, and Nathan was a degenerate gambler betting on me, and I was losing every match, and it was great, man. It was wonderful. I mean, those were some tough times, man.
Well,
I mean, I did actually. I pulled up to Walmart last week and got out of the car and immediately heard like yelling. So I'm like, all right, I gotta record this. So I just have my phone pointed down as I'm walking in, and shit, man, I could probably just play it for everybody here. I don't know what they were arguing about. I'm assuming it's like roommates and someone's being shitty and
You guys almost had that rumble at the movie theater with those guys.
That would have been. In this day and age, when everyone decides I have to record this instead of getting to safety, I'm surprised Emily wasn't sitting in the car
recording everything.
Just recording the whole thing in the falling
asleep. We got to see what the hell you got there, Nathan.
Well, I'll just play it because it's mostly just looking at my feet, but and I don't want it to be like too loud either.
I don't see her trying to get a fucking job. Oh, yeah, okay. Really?
I'm making sure. People fight in Walmart. Holy shit.
And that's basically all it
This
was.
is your Christian Bale impression. People
Yeah.
fighting you, Batman.
So, like I said, whether
But
you're
yeah, I'm walking up. It's like, yeah, did she get a fucking job? I'm like, what's going on? And then when I like walked out, like the lady that was doing all the rambling was still standing there. But then the people that she was yelling at were in like the handicapped spot, like directly in front of her. But she was like turned away and just like looking up. I'm like, what are you guys even doing? So I kind of like caught a piece of that conversation where it's like, they were like, hey, are you coming with us? I was like, yeah, but she's like over there. It's just like white trash bullshit fighting things.
fun. That's what I mean. We've all been in some or seen some great ones. Like in one neighborhood, there was this one little guy. His name was Greenie. And
man, I swear, it's just like Joe.
Greenie?
Greenie, yeah.
Oh,
Greenie.
wait, what were the other nicknames? Booby and
Pumpkin and Booby and TT. Shut up. Just leave me alone.
No, actually, no. TT's actually TT's actually the nickname for my mom that like the nieces and nephews call her when they were younger. They were
people have nicknames, but Lil Greenie, he was like one of the crackheads in the neighborhood, and he's that. Well, it's like he annoyed you, but you wouldn't want to see him get hurt. But he was causing some shit, and he would run his mouth a lot. He came down the street one time, and there was this one big guy that was real pissed that Greenie owed some money to. And he was talking to the one neighbor lady across the street. Here came Greenie, and he was talking loud. It was getting closer and closer. And me and my mom seeing this through the door. It was the best thing I ever seen in my life. That guy got so fucking pissed. He's like, you still fucking owe me money. He grabbed Greenie by his throat and just held him in the air and was choking him with one arm. I was like, Mom, it looks like wrestling. It looks like wrestling. And she looks like Jesus. And the lady across the street screaming, said, just put him down. And he was holding there for like a good minute and then finally dropped him. Greenie was on the ground holding his throat and actually started crying. Oh, I never seen that like that in person. I was like, he grabbed a fucking human being and was choking him in the air with one hand.
God, Joe, your life is like one big Seagal movie.
Well, so you can see why I get into these movies and violence and vengeance, but that was the first time I felt bad for Greenie because, he annoys the shit out of everybody, but when you're seeing somebody getting choked in the air, you're like, God damn.
Joe?
Yeah, that was bad.
Oh, okay. He like stopped for a second. I was like, oh, crap, it's all going to hell now.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's when I started.
Nope, happened again.
But then I felt bad for him, but then it was hilarious again. That poor guy got that shit choked out of him. Oh, it was great. Sorry, I had to side rant, but...
Nice.
I love how Joe was trying to tell the story. Like, all right, guys, leave me alone so I can tell my story.
What are some of the other nicknames? Can you just throw some more out for us?
Just two. Tutu and PD. Tutu was the one that on the
Tutu and
table
PD.
It was like King of the Mountain we tried to play, but we would do this on a picnic table and we'd have people in the neighborhood do it. And I remember we were buddies, but the one time I pushed him real hard and it hurt his shoulder and part of his neck, and we didn't talk for 2 weeks, and I felt horrible because I didn't know how to apologize because I thought we were just playing King of the Mountain. Well, I didn't. I was like, I thought we were doing this, and we always play King of the Mountain. And then I shoved him off the picnic table and messed up his shoulder and neck, and I felt bad. But of course, then, like, okay, man, sorry, whatever. You know how it's like you kind of apologize without apologizing, but I was like, I don't think I did nothing wrong, I've been shoved off the table before.
Did you give him a whole, like, before you pushed him?
No, it was just, you're sitting there, you're scrapping back and forth. I was pushed off the table plenty of times, but I had a really good shove where he went off, but it happened.
And hurt himself real bad, and you're like, I'm not apologizing for that.
Yeah, I
don't care if he's paralyzed or not. I ain't apologizing for that. I'm Joe Amato.
See him nowadays. Oh, that's terrible. But the nicknames, like I said, of Tutu and Diggy and everybody else, I never thought of
Diggy? I thought you said Petey. Diggy?
No, Petey. I felt bad because he had one nub on the one finger here, and then he had his other 3 fingers. So I'm sorry, but that was his hand, and I felt bad. It's been life growing up. So
you really are like a mob boss. It's like watching little Michael Corleone growing up.
Yeah, it's like Muppet Babies, but mobsters.
Yeah. See picture like guys are being thrown around, like they're just hands are flopping around in the air.
Yeah. Like Seagal running, just hands.
And Joe's out there like slapping people, slap, elbow, slap. And...
I mean, the names when it's nicknames, when you're growing up, that's your friends' names. You really don't think about it of the nicknames, but Yeah, God, I haven't thought about Petey in a while though. Yeah, it was always strange for me to see, and he didn't care. It's not like we felt sorry for him, but it was just like this kind of like ball nub to where his pointer finger was. I never asked him like, "Hey, what happened to your finger?" Even as a kid, you knew not to be too rude, but yeah, it was weird. What the hell's going on?
I don't know. I guess we need to go ahead and wrap this up. Any final thoughts on Marked for Death?
No, it's one of my, well, of course, Seagal's early movies. It's always one of my favorites for his. I mean, the later they got, the worse they got. But yeah, I love Marked for Death, Above the Law, Under Siege, Out for Justice. Out for Justice, and and Hard to Kill, but Out for Justice is my absolute favorite. And I know you guys don't have that on DVD or anything else, but hopefully one day you could see it.
Yeah, we'll work on it. We'll make it happen. Just for you, Joe, so you won't push us off of picnic tables.
Fedmon's saying, I thought Joe was the sweet little guy. He's like, what kind of stuff did he get into growing up? Well, not a bad guy. It's just, you're sometimes in bad situations. It just happens.
Oh, yeah.
I picture like Joe. Right? Joe's got like a toothpick in his mouth, like cigarettes rolled up in his sleeve, his hair looking like a greaser.
Well, he's like Tom Cruise in Collateral. It's like, I didn't kill him. The bullets in the fall killed him.
Yeah. Hey,
yeah,
homie,
it's just like that.
Is that my burger? Is that my burrito? Yeah, we want it back. And then Joe pulls out like a shiv and like stabs him like this. Grabs his burrito and nobody takes my burrito. And Joe has like a clip-on like ponytail on the back of his head, so when he's out and about, he can just clip it on. That's perfect.
All right, so a star rating, Joe, out of 5 stars. What would you give this?
I still give it a 5. I love the damn movie. It's something that I wouldn't think aged horribly. I still just love it. No, wait. I can't give it a 5 because then what the fuck do I give Out for Justice? That's the best one of them all.
Yeah, you can't break our.
What about Fire Down Below, where he's all fat and stuff, trying to save the environment?
Yeah. Oh crap. What do I do?
Okay. Wait, isn't that the same like title of a movie that Howie Long was in, where he was like fighting fire?
No, that was Firestorm.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know what? Just because I like Out for Justice more doesn't mean that I still couldn't give this a 5. I still give it a 5. I just love the damn movie. So yeah, I'm still giving it a 5.
All right, Tyler, star rating and final thoughts.
I give it a 3 stars. It's my if I had a Seagal film to pick, it'd probably be that or Under Siege. I mean, overall the movie's good. I like the fight in the jewelry store is awesome. The fights in Jamaica are good, and Screwface is an enjoyable villain. And throwing in voodoo and stuff like that too. Just it's always an extra level of tension and horror when you incorporate stuff like that, because people really do use voodoo and stuff like that too. So
a car chase that works. A car chase that's actually an enjoyable.
But I'm just so immune to car chases. Like I just don't really care. Like they
just work for me. I hate usually, like you said, I hate car chases, but I was like, I like this damn car chase. It didn't detract from the movie. It added, like you said, a little bonus. You have that, you have voodoo, you have all this crazy shit. It's like it was a good mix. They put a lot of it. Had a lot of balance into it.
Yeah, I mean, plus you got Keith David as your buddy. Like that gets a lot of bonus points for that too.
Yes. And Brett.
I feel like the only way it would get better is if it was like Danny Glover or Ernie Hudson or something.
Even that, like Keith David, I mean,
but Keith David just has a.
He's got the voice. Plus, he's got that. Keith David's got a really mean look on his face. Of course, Danny Glover, you're watching Predator 2, the guy looks like he'd rip your head off just for looking at him wrong. Ernie Hudson's got that calm demeanor, but he could beat your ass like very quickly if you decide to cross the Hudson. I like that. Don't cross the Hudson, kind of like the Hudson River. Man, that is fantastic. Joe, put that on a T-shirt.
I'll do it. But no, Keith David, out of all of them, yeah, he's the one that still looks the toughest, like he would beat the piss out of somebody. He does have that look.
Like when he laughs, like in Men at Work. He's like, this sucks. So basically, so do you. And he just like laughs at Emilio maniacally, and then he stops and grabs a hold and beats the hell out of Charlie Sheen. Like,
see? There you go. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it 3.5. That's the thing that Tyler thought was a heart. I wrote 3.5 and circled it at the bottom. Well, what's to say that hasn't been said? I love the car chase. Like I'm gonna agree with Joe because I wrote it down. Like it was framed well. It like served a purpose. It's got good one-liners, like stuff that made me laugh. It's out there, like Tyler said, with the voodoo stuff that kind of just adds a little extra sprinkles on it, So enjoyable film. I look forward to talking more about some of these earlier Seagal films with you guys. It'll be a good time.
And you have to answer one quick thing from Fedmon before you wrap it up.
Yeah, the green thing next to the pony. That is actually a stuffed T-Rex. I got that for Emily for Valentine's Day, and it had like chocolates. I'm trying to remember what it said on the front of it. It had something to do with like I honestly can't even remember what it was, but it had like one of those that tied into dinosaurs. It's like some sweet message on it, but yeah, that's what that is.
Okay.
All right.
So how do you want to wrap it up? What are you going to tell everybody to do?
Thank everyone for joining us live. This was a lot of fun. Tyler's looking angrier. He keeps looking outside and looking back. Just like, fuck.
It's like still coming down. I'm like, oh god, I gotta go out and fight all this nonsense.
Yeah, I can't wait to go shovel it myself. But, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified when we go live or when new videos are posted. Check out all the links down below. We have Podbean and iTunes, and I want to encourage you guys that listen to us in audio format to hop on over and support the channel and give us a subscribe. Like the video, leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on Mark for Death and just Seagal in general, or if you just want to post another link of that compilation of him running like Janish sent me, post that down below. Be sure to check out Fans of Power at youtube.com/Fans of Power Podcast, the weekly He-Man and the Masters of the Universe podcast hosted by these two gentlemen here. And hopefully you guys will still be able to do that tonight at 9. We'll see. Hopefully the snow is not going to fuck with the power or anything. Check out Joe Amato's Customs and check out his t-shirts. All that stuff is down below. So I guess shit, I'll be bugging you guys tomorrow and be like, hey, what are we talking about this week? And then we'll go through our usual, unless anyone wants to throw out anything now.
I mean, do you guys want to keep doing movies? Or do you guys want to? Because doing TV shows is always hard because it's trying to find one that all of us have seen a lot of episodes to actually talk about. You know, or even cartoons. We do. I mean, we could do cartoons. We could do. Do you guys want to actually talk about 80s toys? Do you want to talk about?
Since Who Dat Whale did bring that up, and we haven't done it in a while, maybe we could talk about 80s toys. You know, we might as well mix it up because we always do everything on the show.
What if we kind of mix in? Like some, I know you guys have done this before on Fans of Power, I believe, but like maybe some memorable like Christmas toy gifts that you received too. I don't know. It's kind of tie it in a little bit. Whatever. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, we'll figure out something.
We'll do toys.
Okay.
It'll involve toys.
Yeah.
We'll go from there.
So many damn good ass lines, and yeah, we'll do that, and we'll mix it up and see what we can do. Because it was a suggestion. It's something I thought we didn't do, so now we will.
All right. Well, until
Works
then,
for me.
we will see you guys next week. Thanks again, everybody.